Hey y'all, let's take a tour of the hydrangeas in our garden here in North Alabama, Zone 7B, 8A. It's the beginning of June and they are in their full glory right now. Starting with this one, this is my absolute favorite. We've got about 7 or 8 of them in the garden here. This is Summer Crush from Endless Summer. This one's been in the ground here for about 4 or 5 years. I actually bought this one when it first came out. When you buy it in a pot, it's got a bright pink flower. All the nurseries grow this plant, and they'll grow it, and the soil in there is very alkaline, so it's got this raspberry pinkish red bloom. Here in North Alabama, we've got very acidic soil. So when you get that plant in the ground, it's going to take a couple years for it to kind of spread its roots and get into the native soil. As you can see here, it's turned purple, and it's a dark purple, almost fuchsia, mauve color. It's my absolute favorite, and that's why. This is Summer Crush from Endless Summer. Let's go find another one. All right, moving away from the big leaf hydrangeas, we've got this one actually here. This is called Incrediball. This is a variety of smooth hydrangea, which is actually native to the eastern US. This one, actually a friend brought me this as a cutting. It was about this tall. It's been about 4 years now. And now it's about 5, 6 feet high, about 4 or 5 feet wide. It really is tolerant of the sun, a lot more than big leaf hydrangeas. It's very tolerant of dry soils compared to those big leaf hydrangeas that seem to wilt in the hot summer sun. That is Incrediball. Let's find another one. All right, another great native hydrangea. This is actually oak leaf hydrangea, or Hydrangea quercifolia. This is also native to the eastern US. It's a pretty big plant. This one's going to get about 6, 8, 10 feet tall over the years. This one's been in the ground six years now. This is actually Semmes Beauty is the cultivar of this one. It was selected for its big, long panicle flowers that are much really larger than just the native species, the straight species that you'll find most commonly. That's Semmes Beauty oak leaf hydrangea. All right, remember that Incrediball hydrangea I showed you? Well, this is also a smooth hydrangea, or Hydrangea arborescens. This is the native plant that grows wild here in the eastern United States. This one actually came from the woods. It was a little plant I found and I rescued it. Planted it about 4 or 5 years ago in this really a dry shade location. This is about as dry as it gets. We've got a sugar maple back here. We've got a dogwood about 6 feet away from this plant. This plant doesn't need any supplemental water. Whatever nature throws at it during the year, this one usually tolerates it pretty well. Pollinators are all over this plant. There's so many bees and bugs and ants and all kinds of things on this plant. Hydrangea arborescens, smooth hydrangea. It's about 6 feet tall. It's about 4, 5, 6 feet wide. Give this one some room to grow and you will be pleased with the amount of flowers you will get, especially if it gets a good bit of sun. When you find these in the wild, they're kind of growing in the woods. They're kind of growing in the woods, in the shade. They'll put out some blooms, but not quite like this when it's getting blasted by the sun. It can tolerate it pretty well. Hydrangea arborescens. All right, and just a few feet away from that Hydrangea arborescens, which is now beside the camera, we've got 2 big leaf hydrangeas. This is the original Endless Summer standard reblooming remontant hydrangea. This is the Blue Beauty. You know, this is the one with the big blue balls on it. And these plants have been in the ground about 3 years. Again, these are actually in dry shade and they're doing all right. Probably not as big as they'd be if they were getting regular moisture, but these are tolerating it pretty well. Gotta love the blue flowers. That's Nantucket right there. Let's find another one. All right, this is actually another one of those Endless Summer varieties. This one's been out probably about 6 or 7 years. This one's called Bloomstruck. It's going to be a little more compact than the big standard Endless Summer hydrangea, but it's really known for its dark red stems and its blooms. You're going to go from pink to blue. Right here in the acidic soil, they're as blue as can be. Love this plant too. We've got 5 or 6 of them. So that is Bloomstruck from Endless Summer. All right, here's another oak leaf hydrangea. This is one actually, you'll see box stores selling the packaged bagged roots in the early spring. This was one that actually came from Tractor Supply. It was just a tiny stick. Now it's, my gosh, this thing's 10 feet wide, 6, 7 feet tall. This one's been in the ground just as long as that Semmes Beauty, and it's kind of funny to see the differences in the plants where they were native to, kind of in the genetics. This one, the flowers are a lot smaller and they're turning pink a lot sooner than the other ones, than the Semmes Beauty would turn. So it's kind of neat to see how these plants kind of adapt to their local regions. Who knows where this one came from, but it came from a bag, and there it is. Just wanted to show this Incrediball hydrangea one more time because it's late in the evening here, and there's actually pollinators all over this plant as well. Not quite as many as that native smooth hydrangea that I showed you with the smaller flowers. This one's bred for its big flowers, and the pollinators seem to like it pretty well too. That is Incrediball hydrangea arborescens. Check those suckers out. They're huge. All right, here's another Endless Summer original reblooming hydrangea. This is the big boy. This one's planted here on the side of the garage. It was actually here when we bought this house 7 years ago. It was kind of hidden. There's boxwoods over to the side of it that were way overgrown. They were about this tall. You couldn't even see this plant. Here it is now. It's actually died to the ground over some very hard winters. I thought we lost it, but it's showing out. It's still not as big as it was before it died to the ground. As you can see, it's about chest high on me. It's been this tall. It does really good. This one, I don't really have to protect it from the winter winds because it's in such this sheltered location on the north side of the garage. Awesome, awesome plant. It will put out blooms later in the summer once these stems here that you can kind of see, they'll get a little bit taller, and you know that more flower buds are coming off this plant. That's the Endless Summer original. All right, here's another one of those Endless Summer Bloomstruck hydrangeas. This one's under the shade of a pecan tree. It doesn't get hit by the midday sun. It's kind of sheltered here from the winter winds. And this one in particular has always done really well in this spot, surprisingly. It doesn't stay really dry in this spot, but it is about 8 feet away from the trunk of this giant tree. So it's always good to see how well this one does and how well these shrubs perform without regular irrigation. It's doing great. Once again, acidic soil, very acidic soil. We've got these blue, dark purple blooms. Some of them actually show up a little bit more pink in the garden. Back here, I've got another summer crush hydrangea and another Bloomstruck back there. Those probably, they must have gotten blasted by a little bit more winter winds because they don't have quite as many buds on them, blooms on them right now. But the best part about Endless Summer hydrangeas is that they're reblooming. You will get more flowers in the late summer. Bloomstruck from Endless Summer. Whoop. All right, last and definitely not least. I say last, but there's probably 70 hydrangeas in the garden. These are just the kind of the ones that are showing out the best right now. This one is the new Eclipse hydrangea. It's bred to have this purple, almost black foliage. I did a video last year on YouTube putting this one in the ground, but it actually was not in this spot. It's about 30 feet away from where I originally planted this plant. Nothing wrong with the plant. This is a great plant, but I wanted to move it because turns out it was getting a little more midday sun than it wanted, really. Not only that, where I had it out closer to the road, it was getting the winter winds. It was kind of exposed. It was out in the open. So this spring didn't have a lot of flower buds on it. Like I said, nothing wrong with this plant. Hydrangea macrophylla can be very picky. They can be very, you just kind of got to watch them. In the late winter, early spring, those late frosts will get those buds and you won't get early flowers. But this is a reblooming hydrangea as well. It's got this awesome purple foliage. It's just so awesome. But it's in the sheltered spot now, kind of tucked in here with these other shrubs. So I think it's going to do a lot better in this spot. Plus, we've got this sunshine ligustrum, and we've got this Everillo carex that kind of just help to make the purple foliage pop. It's got some pretty awesome pink fuchsia blooms on there. Great plant. That's the Eclipse hydrangea. That about wraps up the hydrangea tour. I'm Matty Croxton. Thanks for watching.